Okay, kumama minuwa chigandostamik, pokena kandostamik, dai mahawdite kenos magandostamik, heana mutsagatek minuma, kigangagi bestama kubane sutsagatek ki sasabu banastatik, and they take us to Gumagohan, Terriat at the Squinagan, Piskitaski, Tapitskis to Gumag. Yanamota Hutumidi, Hegonigate, Hutamakisas, and Sabu Panastoya, he did to Gumino. Kigongagisti, Twenta Chukakway to Takiban starts Kamun Hakigonaski Henstapo, Pokigon that Hispano, Awadness yet no data Nista Putaki and yet was good to Mahete go Togigona, Kawi Utsaga technique and take Monomagot Kagawechimil in the Noa. Montagawechimil on the Northern White Otak, the most twist Boganista Matai to Tebogo, Kawishi. Twenta Hegono, Hevigo to be match to Hoget, Utaski, Tekega, opposite Gumaga, and Utsmaga, Utauskatis, Uskinigo, and go get the bat Mustag, Tani Tentach, wish to Tani Tentach, Histomatani, Tutaguino, Topaskat, Tanigate Hutaha Topaskat, Domenico, Nipustak, and Gumaga go, watch it, Geronimo.
Watch it, George.
Hey, Jeronimo, thank you, Getchimingus. Thank you for accepting this interview in terms of Bill 5 and also your thoughts and also in terms of your vision for the future, speaking for the youth, which is awesome, and also what's your plans to show that you're against this Bill 5. Go ahead and tell us your story.
Thank you, George. So just a little bit of context. I started Here We Stand almost 1 week ago now. It's when I first heard of Bill 5 and Bill C5, the national interest legislation. And when I first heard about these, I was still learning about them. Then I came into the picture. That's when I realized that this is coming up. This is going to happen. The governments are going to pass both of these bills, and these are going to open up the entire territory, our land, our home, to mining, unrestricted mining, wherever they want, however big they want, in absolutely totality. And so I immediately reached out to my parents, and I called them, and I said, hey, we need to go upriver. We need to go make a stand. We need to go do something against these bills because the government are coming. They're coming into our home. They want to come in and they just want to drill. They want to bleed the earth. They want to build dams on the river. This is going to affect me. This is going to affect you. And it's all going to happen in a matter of years, not decades, years if we don't do anything. So I told them, we got to go upriver and we got to find a way. And right after that, I started reaching out to different organizations from Mushkegowuk Council to Attawapiskat, and to pull in as many funds as possible to go upriver. And that's our plan. Our plan is to go up Attawapiskat River, to go where the Mushkegowuk River meets the main Attawapiskat River. Once we arrive there, our plan is to go reassert our presence, to make our presence known on the land. Because one of the things these governments both say, or it's just a general idea that's out there, is that nobody uses the land anymore. Nobody lives the way we used to anymore. And they think that. They actually believe in that. Because when they come around to our territory, they see no trace of us. And that's because whenever we go out on the land, we leave it in a better place than we found it. Unlike their drilling, they go and they drill entire areas, and it decimates that part of the land. Now imagine that, but 1,000 times bigger. Now imagine hydroelectric dams, several of them on Ekwan River, on Attawapiskat River, on Minesk River, on Gipishka, on Albany River. And so when we go upriver, I want to bring as many people as I can here from Attawapiskat, and it's not from Attawapiskat, maybe down the road, people that want to come support, to go upriver and to place DP poles and to place flags every half kilometer up and down the river all along where the Ring of Fire would cross all over the Attawapiskat River, or would be situated. And that's our first step, to put these teepee poles, to reassert our presence, to say that we are here. This is our home, and you can't come in here without our permission. Because that's what they're doing. They're just coming in without our permission. And they're just doing it. Well, it's our time to just do it, to just go out there. We don't need to wait around. We don't need to ask anyone permission. We just go. Our rights are at risk here. They are in danger here. They're coming in, and they're just, if they're allowed to just come in and do whatever the hell they want, then, and we just stand by and watch them. Then what does that say about us? What does that say about our need to protect the land? If the Ring of Fire is the crown jewel of these government legislations, the Ring of Fire is what is mentioned in both pieces of bills, on Bill 5 and Bill C5. The government is really gunning on the Ring of Fire. It's really looking at the Ring of Fire and saying, this is what's going to make Canada an economic superpower. And this is why we need to go make our stand, because everyone here is looking towards us. They're looking at the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire is going to be the largest mining project in North America, all of North America, Canada, America, Mexico, the entire continent. It will be the largest mining project right here in our home. Our home is pristine. It's untouched. We have some of the longest undammed rivers in Canada, in America, even in the world. We have some of the largest intact forests, ecosystems you could find anywhere, and it's right here in Ontario, one of the last places you think you'd look. And so when we go fight this, if we just let them come in and do whatever they want, and if they are successful, then no Indigenous nation in Canada will be safe from their destructive greed. If they could come here and do this to us and walk all over our rights, our people, then nowhere is safe from their open development, from them just coming into different people's homes and just invading. That's what they're doing. When someone comes into your home and takes your stuff and destroys it, you don't stand by and watch it happen. You protect it. That's what we're doing. And our first step is to go up the river and to reassert our presence, to plant our flags, our family flags, and our teepee poles all along the river. Once we do that, our hope is to then go further up the river to meet up with the community of Mushkegowuk First Nation. They want to meet us upriver so we could stand together and send our message to these governments to say, no, you're not welcome here. You have to talk to us. You have to involve us with anything regarding our lands. And from there, we have a plan. We have a plan to escalate our actions if need be. But that's why we're going upriver. We're doing this for the future generations. Niganik Dehe. Tomorrow. I'm doing this for my nieces, my nephews, my cousins, my future children, and their children, and their children. That's why we're doing this. And that's why this needs to happen. They're counting on us. The future generations, they're counting on us. They're depending on us to make our stand and to make it now. But that's why we're going upriver. That's why I started this movement called Here We Stand. It's led by the grassroots people. When I say grassroots people, it's led by your average person like me or you. These are the people that are going to lead the fight, backed by our council leadership.
That's a good statement. A really good statement, Jeronimo.
Thank you.
And so in terms of that, what do you call it? what we want to do in terms of that, we want to tell the people that are opening up this future jobs for their interest, and also it is going to be open to us First Nations people as well. But what you're saying is we want to do it right, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, in terms of that, we all know it's about 150, 160 kilometers ring of fire from Attawapiskat. It's going to be on that river, but it still is going to impact a lot of things for the future. So, what are you hearing in terms of we don't want ring of fire? Are you hearing anything like in terms of, but we also want jobs, and how do we do that? Do you hear that from the leadership at all, or anybody from your community? Like, I know you had engagements here and there in regards to your trip to upriver.
Yeah. So right now, these governments, they're just coming in. They're passing these bills into law, and they're saying that they're going to open up this whole thing. And they didn't consult us during that. They didn't talk to us. They didn't ask for our opinion. They just said, we're going to sign this into law, and we're going to come into your home, and we're going to do this whether you like it or not. They say they're going to uphold the duty to consult, even though this law says they don't have to. That doesn't mean anything anymore. The duty to consult is like me coming into your home and telling you, hey, I want to take your brand new or your TV. And then you say, oh, yeah, no, of course you can't. Then I say, okay, thank you. Anyways, I consulted you, so I'm going to take your TV anyways. And then they just take it. It's no longer about consultation. It's about consent. Consent. We haven't given our consent. This is no proper way to go around doing business. It doesn't matter if you're for the ring of fire or not. Before there is some sort of plan, but now these bills are just a massive power grab to do whatever they want. If they want to come do any sort of development in our territory, they have to come talk to us. We have to be one of the massive stakeholders, because this is going to impact our way of life. But they don't want that, because they know it'll take years to work with us, years to do it right. And here at these community sessions, almost everyone felt the same way. If they're going to come in here, they got to do it right. But no, it was only recently here. Now they're beginning to reach out to us after the fact. They're looking for partnership after the fact. That's no way to get things done. They're looking for partnership after the fact. If they want to work with us, then they should have started from the very beginning. But the moment they pass these bills without us and just ignoring our people right outside their government building,
Yes.
and then
go ahead, Geronimo, sorry.
Yeah. The moment they ignored our people from outside the government building, they showed us how much our words are worth to them. They showed us our words don't mean much. They never meant much if they pass a bill this fast. They finally in their lens, they finally get to get rid of the biggest problem that they've had in Canada for over 150 years, and that's us. Us First Nations, just not here, but everywhere. We're sitting on top of all these natural resources that they claim to be so valuable. Us. And this is their chance to finally get rid of the largest thorn on their backside for over 150 years. And that's us and our treaty rights as promised to us through the oral treaty.
Yes, that's correct. And in terms of no consultation, like little consultation, meaning that, okay, we said this, we said that, it's good. Now we're in partnership type of thing. Like, we can go ahead and do stuff in their First Nation territories. And it's never the fact. Like, it's always something that, just like you said, It's like you said, it is frustrating. It's so heartbreaking in terms of when they're talking about our land. They're talking about our land in terms of that they got so much for them. They look at the future. They look at what they're going to do without even consulting their plans and turn into our territory, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And so, in terms of that, so we have this thing that's Bill 5 that's passed. It's going to be more like it coming into law. So, meaning that they can do whatever they want in our First Nations territory, correct?
That's correct.
That they can go to, you don't even have to consult First Nations people.
Yeah, they don't have to.
Yeah, because it's law that so anytime you protest or anything like that, they're saying you're breaking the law. Now it's them that are turning the table around. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly what you're saying.
So we have all this stuff that they're planning. It's all about fast tracking the mining, the Ring of Fire, and other mines. So I won't be surprised there's other things coming. Like for example, once the Ring of Fire is access to a road and everything else, and what else are they planning? Do you think in terms of maybe there's a like a logging coming, logging stuff, and maybe wind power, like seaports that we don't know. Maybe it's going to happen. What's your
Mm.
thoughts?
I've been talking about mining this whole time. I didn't even mention the moment where we are, the Mushkegowuk territory. It's completely pristine, and I mean like it's relatively almost untouched by any sort of development. The moment they make that access road is the moment they open up the entire frontier of Ontario. They open up the entire Mushkegowuk area to all sorts of development, and I promise you, they're not going to stop at mining. There's going to be forestry. We're going to have hunting outfitters coming up the access road. We might even have people coming in to make their cabins along our rivers, right?
Hmm.
It's going to open up the entire territory to everything. And there's going to be so many people coming up that road and doing whatever they want. Almost every major city in northern Ontario has all started around a mine. Timmins, look at Timmins for example. Timmins was built around the mine. Now, if you look at the Ring of Fire and the amount of mining claims and the mining claims that are still being added today, I guarantee you in 50, maybe 50 plus years, that's going to be a massive city, or maybe bigger than most cities in northern Ontario, right here in our backyard. And right now they're saying that they're going to save the planet, that they're going to save climate change by they're going to offset climate change by making thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of electric vehicles from the critical minerals that will be coming from the Ring of Fire, chromite. That's what they're saying. They have a commitment to the future. But what they do not realize is that by coming into our home and destroying one of the last large ecosystems on planet Earth, they're really inadvertently releasing billions of tons of carbon by disturbing the peatlands. They keep talking about offsetting climate change, but they're also talking about coming into one of the most sensitive ecosystems that absorb millions of tons of carbon each year. That's just that's not even an excuse. They're just using this whole critical minerals. They're just using this whole chromite that's going to save the earth. They're not going to stop at chromite. Once they find more diamonds, once they find gold, once they find other resources in the ground like that, they're going to keep expanding. Right now, they say it's just about chromite. look at the amount of mining claims there are in the Ring of Fire. Imagine how big it'll be once they find other resources, and I guarantee you, once this is established, they're not going to pull out in 100 years. It's only going to expand, 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 and expand. When I say the future generations are at stake, this is what I mean. Look, if you've been out on the land, if you see the land, you could see that there's millions and millions of trees for forestry. It's like we have some really long rivers as well. There's going to be multiple hydroelectric dams that will have to power that thing. Right now, the government is simply using that excuse, saying that they're going to save the world by making thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of electric vehicles. They're just using that excuse. If they really wanted to offset climate change, they would leave this place alone. It's about money. It's not about saving the planet. It's about making as much money as possible.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Geronimo, for that. And so in terms of that, it's like you said, it's going to be so much stuff that they're going to go for. Like you said, there's chromite, and there's also going to be all kinds of stuff like nickel, copper. You name all that stuff that they know it's there. So the main thing they want to get way in the bottom or somewhere is chromite. That takes care of a lot of things. It's like our cast iron pan. It comes out of that. Even our cell phones come out of mining, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of that, it's more like more and more example. We would say what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen? It might be a lot of jobs. It might be a lot of things for a lot of people in the First Nation communities. It might even be power from Attawapiskat all the way to the Ring of Fire. Power, like stuff like that, may be a road, all-season road from here to there. But what's going to impact it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to impact the whole process of this Ring of Fire, or even the Bill 5? The Bill 5 is going to actually do what it wants, and it's going to impact a lot of things. They can even create their dams just to get power. A lot of powers just to power up the Ring of Fire, maybe even.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of that, what are you hearing from people, like in terms of what's going to destroy, and how are they feeling? Like maybe there's a lot of people that you hear, but from the youth as well, maybe for the next generators, like.
So with these community engagements, I just gave it to people straight. Bill 5, Bill C5, they're going to accelerate the Ring of Fire so fast, and the Ring of Fire is going to be so massive. And keep in mind, when Bill 5 and with Bill C5, when they work together, they get rid of all environmental protection. So whatever happens within these special economic zones, they could do anything. They don't even have to, they completely disregard any sort of fish populations, any sort of caribou populations, animal populations. They disregard any sort of impact it has on us downriver. They don't have to do studies. They just come in and they bulldoze and they just put cement in, and that's how they're gonna go ahead with this, right? And when I told people here at this community engagement sessions, I gave them to them straight. I wasn't holding back. I said, in simple terms, this is what Bill 5, Bill C5, and the Ring of Fire will do. It's gonna dry the rivers. It's gonna kill the animals. It's gonna bleed the earth, and it's forever going to change our ways of life. And if we don't do anything about it now, then this is the beginning of the end of who we are. This is the beginning of the end of all our rights. If they get to come in and do this, and they're essentially destroying our rights. If you attack the land, if you kill the land, that's the government's 21st century style way of killing the Indian and the child, just how they did 100 years ago. That's what I said. And what my message was. It's going to forever change our way of life. Everything our ancestors fought for the past 600 years was this. They fought for the land. They fought for our rights. That's why the treaty was signed in the first place, the oral treaty. So when I told this, a lot of people were shocked. They needed a day or two to absorb the information because that's just how urgent it is. When I told people this, they had nothing to say. They were shocked. They even told me they were shocked. So they went home and they thought on it. Then they came back the next day after and they say, yes, we have to go. We have to fight this. And that's been the general consensus that I've seen, even from our youth. Our youth don't want this to go through. The ones that are getting involved anyway, just look around. They want to stand against this. They want to fight against this. And it's time. That's what I keep saying. It's time. They want to catch us with our pants down. They want to catch us off guard. They want us to just talk amongst each other and talk and talk. They want us to take it to court. They want us to take it to court because they know we'll win in court. We are going to win, but we will win in 40 years. And sure, the settlement might be in the billions, and we might come out economically sound. But at what cost? What cost? How much is the land worth to the people? How much is the land to you? How much is the land worth to you? And it's just not land. That land is our history. That land is our culture. It's our language. It's the very essence of who we are. If you give the land up, you're giving those up. And if you give those up for any sort of monetary value, for some money, then what does that say about the years and years and years of suffering that our ancestors, that my grandparents and their grandparents had to go through just for us to be here? It's our turn to protect the land. It's our turn to fight for it. This time, not with axes, guns, or spears, but with our voices. And yeah, like I said, that's been the general community consensus here. People want to fight this, and if anything's going to happen in our territory, we have to be involved. We have to be the stakeholders. We have to at least get majority of any sort of money or profit that comes out of here. The government looks at it like this. They think in 4-year term cycles. If they say, okay, if we are going to get $300 billion, $200 billion off of the Ring of Fire, and we lose to the First Nations in court 40, 30 years from now, and we lose $50 billion to, say, the First Nations that sue us. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just do it anyway because we're still going to get a profit of $150 billion. And they'll also say, oh, okay, well, our government also likely won't be in 40 years from now, so it's not our problem. That's how they think. They're not losing out on anything in the courts. They want us to take us to court. We have to do more. We have to go out on the land and say no. I genuinely believe that this fight to come is going to be one of the biggest we'll ever see in the 21st century. And it's going to determine every other fight for the next 100 years between the government and First Nations. Now is our time. It's no better time than ever to stand up and to secure our future, secure our rights, and to secure our land. We're at a crossroads. We're at a major turning point for our people, just not here, but everywhere. Have a good day.
You're going to be at the site. You're going to say no to all this stuff that's going to happen in terms of how long is it going to take you from Attawapiskat? How long does it take actually?
So from Attawapiskat to where we want to go, it might take, we're looking at 3-4 days, perhaps, right? That will also account for any other delays. and such. If we have to carry the boat through some certain areas, if we have to drag it, or if anything else pops up, maybe 4 days, 5 days at max.
Okay, so how many boats are involved at the moment? How many groups?
Right now, I think it's starting off small, so we're looking at maybe 2 or 3 boats that people want to go upriver.
Okay, so in terms on your way, you're going to start staking some signs or even flags.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that's something I was considering as well, maybe putting some flags or messages along the river as we go up.
Well, good luck to you guys, and hopefully everything it works out and be safe.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, thank you, Jeronimo, and God bless.
Okay, thank you, George.
Wache.
Wache.